All right. Welcome to Qigong Bioenergy Movement Class with Nick Lawfrey. I'm your host, Nick Lawfrey, who's ready to Qi today. Feel free to say hi in the chat. Let me know if you got any requests. You just type them right in there in the chat. If you got music you like to do your Qigong with, put on your music. That's going to give people a minute to come in. Anything fun going on in you guys' lives? Austin requests the 5 Shaolin movements. Good request. I did promise we would do those again, so let's keep it up. 5 Shaolin postures. Super fun little set. Anything else? We're just going to get going if there's no more requests. All right. Find your space. Feet under the shoulders. We start moving with knocking on the door of life. Nice one to wake up the spine, activate the adrenal glands. Let's turn from your hips and waist. Take some deep breaths, deep and slow through the nose. You're going to knock across your waist. Now, a lot of people have kind of a lazy knock. They're coming and hitting their butt or the back of their hips. But ideally, if your shoulders have enough mobility, you're going to come up and knock your lower back muscles. So it's above your hip bones, basically knocking over the lower back ribs, hitting these muscles on either side of the spine. This is the region we refer to as the door of life. Stimulate that region. Open up the chi there. Keep going. So Lou says, good morning. Yes, the 5 movements would be great. Anything else would be wonderful, but lower back would be good too. All right. And hello, Deborah in Massachusetts. All right, speaking of low back, look over your shoulder. Give yourself a little more spinal twist here. Very good. Come to the center. Let's warm up our joints. Put your hands on your hips. Give a nice circle to the hips. Open up around the hips and waist. Keep going. Corey says, just joining. My shoulders are in a lot of pain, especially the right one. Anything to help ease and open the shoulders. All right. Love that you're doing these classes, by the way. Thanks, Corey. Go the other way with your hips. Okay, let's come to the center. We're going to stir the cauldron. Take your left hand on the solar plexus, your upper abdomen, right hand on the lower abdomen. The upper hand's going to track your rib cage. The lower hand's going to track your hips. So we're going to bend the knees a bit, find a nice solid stance. We're going to think of the legs and hips like they're made of stone. Everything below your waist is made of stone. It's just going to sit there super stationary. And the rib cage is going to start to shift left and right, separating itself from the hips. And so when I say shift, I mean shift, keeping sort of level instead of leaning with the rib cage. You're going to keep the spine straight and level and just shift over, shift left and right. So notice one hand moving, the other hand, the lower hand staying still. Now we're going to turn that side to side into a circle. So you're going to go to the side and forward, side and back, side, forward, side, back. Making a circle with your chest and rib cage. But again, keeping that lower hand and the pelvis and legs as stationary as you can. Might not be perfect right away. That's okay. Very good. Go the other direction with your circle. It's a nice one to open up the lower back and waist, but also to massage the digestive organs. Apparently, some people find they need a trip to the bathroom after this one. So don't hesitate. It's the nice thing about doing Qigong alone in your house. A little less awkward than in a studio or something sometimes. All right, come to the center. We're going to go the other way. So this time the upper hand is going to stay stationary. That means your ribs, shoulders are going to be locked in space. And the lower hand, your hips and legs are what's going to circle. So let's try that. We'll start with just side to side first, just to get the hang of it. Keeping the upper hand where it is. The lower hand shifts side to side. The stationary part's a little harder on this one because your upper body's not attached to anything in space. So the legs at least have the floor to touch, but it's a little harder to keep the upper body still. That's okay. So let's find a circle. So we go to one side, forward, side, back, side, forward, side, back. And this one's really going to improve your dance moves, loosen up your hips. But also a nice one for that low back, releasing the low back and massaging the digestive organs. So you'll feel it's like your rib cage and your pelvis are sort of smushing and swirling your digestive organs. Go the other direction. Keep that upper hand as stationary as you can. Couple deep breaths. Back to the center, shake it out. Shake out your legs. Glad you're able to make it, Evan. All right, let's find a little spinal wave. Nice one for all the joints of the spine. So hands on the thighs, you're going to send your hips back, chest drops forward. Then we're going to send the hips forward and lean the chest back. That's kind of the basic mechanical motion. And then we want to make it fluid to open not just the hips, but the spine. So let's come down. At the bottom, we're going to drop the head, push the hips forward, keep the chin dropped all the way to the end of the motion, where we lift the chin, and then keep the chin lifted up as the hips go back. So drop the head at the bottom, push the hips forward, and lift the chin at the top. And just adding that chin motion, sometimes that's enough to turn the whole spine into this fluid wave. You might start to think about the wave as though it's coming up from the earth, coming up the legs, up the hips, up the spine, and ending at the neck. It all sinks back down, and the wave starts again. Earth, feet, legs, hips, spine, neck, head. Very good. All right, let's add the arms to this. So this one is white crane. I think it's just called the white crane. Usually the crane is doing something, huh? Anyways, we add the arms. So here the back of the hands are going to go forward, and then they spiral, palms face up as they pull into the chest. The back of the hands float forward and spiral in. We do that with our wave. So the hands are going forward as the hips go back, and the hips go forward as the hands pull back. Think of the wave coming up from the earth, up the legs, spine, neck, and then continuing down the arms to the fingertips. Bring it in and press it down. Give it a little shake. Very nice. Good. All right, next one. With the feet square under the shoulders, we're going to take the left hand behind the back. Just place the back of the left hand on the back. This one's going to stretch around the left shoulder. So if you need more stretch, generally bringing the hand up higher is going to give you more. If you're tighter, staying lower is going to be a little better for you. The other hand, the right hand, is going to be in front of the chest, like you're in half of a prayer, just out in front of your chest. So I'll show you this one from behind. We're going to do a little twist. You might just watch once because you're going to have to turn around and twist. So we get everything squared up. We drop the tailbone, roll the shoulder blades behind the back, tuck the chin and lift the crown. So basically getting the spine really long and the back pretty flat. Then we're going to twist. So let's start showing you to the left. Twist our spine without twisting the legs at all. Turn the head as well. Then it comes back to the center. And we twist the other way. And as we go the other way, as we go to the right arm is going to pull back. So instead of staying in front of the sternum, the hand's going to pull back behind you. We come to the center, hand comes back in front of the sternum. You might join me now. And twist. Turning the head, turning the spine, not really turning the legs. Back to the center. Twist to the right arm pulls back. Okay, straight from the front. So keep going. Let's add the breath here. We're going to exhale as we twist and inhale as we come to the center. Exhale now as we twist. Inhale, center. So we're looking for a little opening around the front of that left shoulder. Let's do one more each side. Back to the center. Release, shake it out. Let's switch sides. Right hand behind the back. Left hand in front of the sternum. Tuck your tailbone, or sink the tailbone really. Tuck the chin back, so we have the spine long. Which kind of what wants to happen here often is the tailbone to untuck. And so as we're twisting, we kind of wind up like this. This weird like back bend, and we're lifting the chest. We're going to try to keep it with a very straight spine. So instead of kind of doing this to get further into the twist, you're only going to twist as far as you can go while maintaining this structure. At least aiming for that. So let's start to the right, twist to your right, turn your waist, turn your neck. Back to the center with our inhale. And exhale, turn to the left. This time as we go left, the left arm is going to pull back past the chest. You might find that give a little stretch down the inside of the arm. Inhale, center. Just a few deep breaths as we stretch. Deep, slow breaths through the nose. Last one. And let's shake it out. Very nice. All right, let's warm up the knees a little bit before we do our Kung Fu stances. You're going to bend your knees, bring your hands over the knees, and we're just going to circle the knees together. Get a little blood and warmth in there. Activate these muscles around the knees. And go the other direction. Good. Let's straighten the legs and just find a little stretch down the back of the legs, just sliding down. So as that first stretch of the day is the most stiff, so give yourself patience. A few deep breaths. All right, roll it up. Step it out, shake it out. All right, so we're pretty prepped here. You're going to find our 5 Kung Fu stances. So we have 5 stances here. They repeat on either side. So it's almost like we have 10 stances. There's 2 ways you can do them. So traditionally, we're going to do them in a horse stance, which is about twice shoulder width. And in fact, if you want to find a fun way to get there, you bring your feet together and you're going to, so bring your feet as close as they can together. And we're going to do just a few movements. So you just send the heels out, then send the toes out, send the heels out one more time, and then turn your toes forward. And that's about where your horse stance should be. So it's about twice your shoulder width. As we sink into the horse stance, we want our legs to start to feel like an arch bridge. So if they're too strong, your legs are more like just a pyramid, right? And if they're too deep, you're like, I don't know, like a rectangle or something. You want to be kind of in the middle, between straight and about 90 degrees with the legs. So let's say, I don't know, 45 degrees or whatever that is in between 90 and 180. That's where you are in the knees. And so the legs feel like this nice, strong arch bridge that meets at the pelvis being like the keystone. So I don't know if you know what a keystone is, but basically if you stacked rocks to make an arch bridge out of rock, you would have a bunch of flat rocks that stacked on each other. And then in the center, you'd have this sort of triangle-shaped rock that the 2 stacks would come up and meet against. And that is called the keystone because it can hold the bridge together without any mortar. You don't need any mortar if you have the right shaped keystone because the weight of the rocks will sort of press into it and it'll all hold each other up. And so that's what we're looking for our pelvis to feel like in horse stance. Okay, so that's the basic stance. We're going to move through some other stances from there. And so if you're feeling like your knees are sensitive or anything like that, you're going to step it in a little closer. So not quite like shoulder width, but so a little wider than shoulders. You're going to keep yourself more upright. You're just going to bend your knees a little bit. And as we go through the motions, you're going to keep it very gentle. You're not going to sink a whole lot. What you don't want to be doing here is trying to sink a ton with a narrow stance, because you see how much this, and you can kind of, it probably looks painful just looking at my knee right now. So this is not what we want to be doing, is to be in a narrow stance and going really deep, because that's pushing the knees over the toes, stressing the knees a lot. So if you feel like you need a gentler stance, then make it smaller, but also make it shallower. You're not going to go so deep. You're not going to go very deep at all into any of the postures. Okay. And so perhaps let's all try it together first from this narrower stance. And then we'll try it deeper if you want to get more of a workout. But nice just to learn the movements first. But feel free to do this from horse stance right away. We're going to start with the palms together. We're going to sink down a bit. This is our first stance. Then we're going to turn to our left into a lunge. You're going to lift the back heel. You're going to extend your arms forward. Wrap them into fists with the palm side of the fist up, and pull that back by the rib cage. And we're going to turn back to the center. Take the left hand open, bring it to the right shoulder, like you're blocking your face. The left hand by the right shoulder. And the right toes are going to turn out, allowing us to sink a little bit to the right. So again, in this narrower stance, we're going to make sure we don't sink so much that the knee goes over the toes. Just a very small sink, and then we turn to our left. It's a little look to the left. Very good. Bring your weight back to the center. Turn your right toes back straight forward. You're going to take your left foot and cross step behind the right. Heel stays up. Cross step. Just notice my right foot stays pointed here, so we wind up sort of perpendicular with the way the feet are pointed. And we're going to take our right hand, so I'm mirroring you. It's going to press down as the left hand presses forward. We wind up with the right fingertips pointing to the left elbow, the right palm face down. It looks like this. Their little cross step. Okay, then our fifth posture, we bring the left foot back forward, touch the toes gently on the floor. You're going to stay up high if you're in this narrower stance. You're going to drop the left hand down, or both hands down, circle on the left, and then come back in a guarded position with the hands. Let me just sink a tiny bit. That guarded position looks like this. Palms are just open. So the other one, we have the one palm face down with the fingers pointed to the elbow. This one, the hands near the elbow as well, but it's more face the opponent now. Okay, we step it back, palms together, and sink. Very good. All right, we'll do the other side. So again, feel free to join me in this narrower stance. We'll go through it once more, like really slow, just to learn all the whole form a little closer. So we're going to go to the right to start. Turn to your right, lift the left heel, extend both hands, wrap it into fists, pull back. That's posture number 2. Number 3, we're going to turn back, open the right hand, bring it to the left shoulder, block the face. Turn your left toes out, sink a little to the left, turn and look to the right. That's posture number 3. Moving to number 4, turn your left toes back straight forward, cross step behind with the right foot. Right foot crosses behind the left, heel stays up, feet are perpendicular. You're going to bring the left hand up. It's going to press down as the right hand presses forward. Wind up in this position with the fingers pointed to the elbow. That's posture number 4. And finally, number 5, the right toes are going to come back forward, touch gently on the floor. The hands are going to circle to the right and come back down in a similar position, but are guarded position with both hands towards the opponent. And just sink a little bit there. Weight staying in the left foot here, right foot empty, heel off the floor. Comes back. Okay, shake it out a bit, and we're going to do both sides. Hello, Janet and Lynn. It's good to have you. We're going to do both sides. Again, this time, if you want to get experimental, join me in the wider stance. Of course, feel free to stay in that narrower stance. Just adapt what you're seeing me doing to that narrower, shallower stance. Okay, so posture 1, horse stance. Posture 2, turn to your left, lift the right heel, hands extend forward, spiral to fist, pull back. Posture 3, turn back to the center, bring the left hand to the right shoulder, turn the left toes out, sink left, turn and look to the right. Turn the right toes, turn and look to the left. Turn the right toes back forward, cross step behind with the left foot, right hand comes up, right hand presses down, left hand presses forward, we sink into the cross step. Posture number 5, left toes come back forward, touch, circle the hands. If you're feeling adventurous, you can really sink into this one. Center, touch palm, sink. Posture 1, other side, turn to the lunge to the right. Open the hands, pull back. Right hand to the left shoulder. Sink to the left. Turn to the right. Left toes point straight forward. Right foot cross steps behind. Left hand comes up. Right hand presses forward. Posture 5. Right toe step. Hand circle on the right. Come down, guarded position, sink. Back to the center, horse stance. Let's do one more time. Really working those legs and opening the hips. Turn to the left. Open the hip flexor here as we pull back. Left hand to right shoulder, sink to the right, turn to the left. Right toes point forward, left foot cross steps behind, right hand up, pressing down, left hand press forward, sink. Left toes forward, circle on the left, come down, sink. Center, last round. Sink to horse stance. Turn to the right. Open hands. Pull back fists. Right hand to left shoulder. Sink to the left, turn to the right. Left toes turn forward, right foot cross steps behind. Left hand comes up, right hand presses forward. If you're feeling adventurous, really sink. Right toes forward, hands circle on the right. And posture 5. Back to the center. Posture 1. And we're going to step it in. Lift up to the chest. Inhale. Exhale, press down. 3 times. Inhale up to the chest. Exhale, press down. Release. Very nice. It's a fun one, huh? All right, let's open up a little more through the neck and shoulders. Bring your palms together behind your back. If you're tighter, that's going to be lower. If you're looking for more stretch, bring it up higher. And you're going to think about rolling the shoulders down the back, lifting through your crown. We're going to find a circle of the head here, nice and big and slow. You're going to keep reaching through the crown so the head's not just falling over to the side, but just lifting up and over. Nice long neck. Find some deep breaths as we circle. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhale forward and down. Inhale up and back. Go the other way. Deep, slow breaths. And come to one side, find that stretch on one side of the neck. And we're going to circle the chin in the air. Just look for that stretch in the side of the neck. It's like that circle's just massaging into that tight muscle. So you can change the angle if that helps. Maybe the chin more towards the ceiling, maybe more towards your chest as you do it. Wherever you find you're the tightest, just circle into that spot. And then we're going to keep towards this side with the head, but just start circling the chin the other way. Hard to see my chin these days with all this fuzz, huh? Let's go to the other side. Find that stretch. Where do you get the best stretch? Find that, and then circle. I think most people, the front of the neck is going to be a little tighter. This goes how we're always like this, tight. Front neck muscles contracted, back of the neck muscles lengthened. Most people, the front's a little tighter. Go the other way with your circle. And relax. Whew. Shake it out. All right. Super fine. All right, we're going to start to shake it all out. Bouncing the tension out of the body. As usual, we'll allow some sighing breaths here. So the inhales through the nose, the exhales out the mouth, outhales X the mouth, just like you were sighing. Let it all go. If it feels good, lift your heels, knock those heels on the floor, get things really vibrating. Generally in Qigong, anything that's vibrating the body, we think of it as dissolving stagnant qi. So the whole idea of qi is we want it not just to have a lot of qi, to have abundant qi, but we want that qi to be circulating and moving and flowing, just like a river rather than a swamp, they say. So when the qi is stuck, pools up in certain areas, we want it to unclog and move through. So we call that destagnate. There's all kinds of ways we vibrate the body in Qigong. We shake, we knock the heels, we make sounds, vibration with our vocal cords to vibrate the body. We tap, we brush. All the Qigong you see like that is considered dispersing or purging Qigong for clearing Qi stagnation. All right, come back to the center. Feel how your body feels. Take a deep breath. What's interesting about Qigong is it really ties in with all the other branches of Chinese medicine. So if you went to get acupuncture or herbs or dietary advice, all of these would be doing kind of the same things. If you have Qi stagnation, then they would hit the acupuncture points to decongest the chi, or they give you herbs that destagnate. They prescribe you a diet that helps with destagnating. Fun how it all ties together. All right, we're going to find a little flow here. Bring your palms face up. We're going to start to circle the arms. You're going to learn a little bit of orca or killer whale Qigong today. Everyone knows what an orca is, right? Apparently named after the Roman god of the underworld, the Orcus. That was kind of dark, but it was meant to be relaxing Qigong. So don't think of the orcas that like kill baby whales. Maybe think of the orcas that eat salmon or something. Anyways, this one's called the orca swimming. We're going to inhale as we come up and exhale. It's like the head of the orca, so the hands present a circle. So your arms just come forward till they're a circle. They don't come to make a rectangle or something. They're not going to lock all the way out. Just till it's a circle, and then it comes down. You lift up, turn palms towards the chest, present the circle, come down. I do that smoothly with our breath, exhaling down, inhaling up. Exhale forward and down. Inhale in towards the lower abdomen and up. You can find yourself standing a little taller as we breathe in. And sinking as we breathe out. Inhale yourself taller. And exhale to sink. It's just a little bit of bend in the knees. It's like the tailbone just gets heavier. And here it's like the chest fills up with helium. We get lighter in the chest. And then heavier in the pelvis. Lighter in the chest. Heavier in the pelvis. So we'll learn 2 orca movements today. This one is the orca swimming. The next one is called the orca scratches the pebble. So orcas will swim to the bottom of the seafloor and turn upside down to scratch their backs on the rocks on the bottom of the ocean. So they have like barnacles stuck to them or something, I guess. And this one is meant to mimic that. We're going to come to the lower abdomen, the dantian region. We're going to turn the palms towards the dantian. That's how this one starts. Palms towards your dantian. Then the palms are going to pull back by your waist. Palms turn face up by the waist. And then you're going to think of the back of the hands like they're the back of the orca. So they're going to come forward like they're scraping the seafloor with the back of the hands. And then it's like the orca does a little loop-de-loop, flips itself back upright. You come in by your chest. And then palms face down. Now like the orca's flippers going out as it glides through the water. Pull back to the dantian. Palms towards the dantian. Draw to the waist. Scratch your back on the bottom of the seafloor. Find a loop-de-loop coming in by the chest. Open the flippers and glide through the water. So let's try with breath. We're going to exhale here as we come to the dantian. 2 full breaths on this one. Inhale to the waist. Exhale, scratch the pebble. And inhale, open the flippers. Glide through the water. Exhale, dantian. Inhale, waist. Exhale, scratch the pebble. Inhale, open the flippers. Just a few more. This is actually a contemporary Qigong set. So this was invented very recently in the 1990s by Qigong master Kenneth Cohen. Interesting guy, raised by the Cherokee and trained as a Lakota shaman, Lakota medicine man, before eventually being trained in Tai Chi and Qigong and Feng Shui. And he says he was standing by the ocean one day doing a little Qigong meditation. He was in the Pacific Northwest. And as he was meditating with his eyes closed, he heard a voice come into his head and say, "There's Qigong for so many land animals, but why isn't there Qigong for us?" And he opened his eyes and he saw a pod of orcas swimming in front of him. And so he began a 10-year process of channeling the spirit of the orca, which is sort of the overarching, let's say, archetype of the psychology and psyche of the orca, the movement style. And combine that with his knowledge as a shaman and as a Qigong and Tai Chi master. He created this beautiful orca form. It has about 8 different movements in it. We're just learning 2 today. So let's bring it in. The orca is actually done walking. So we're learning these motions from standing first just to get the motions down. So now we're going to do it with the stepping. So this is a bit of a walking meditation. If you have a very small space to work with, you can honestly do this with a space the size of a yoga mat. So you don't need a huge space to be able to do the walking meditation. The only thing you're going to do differently is just take smaller steps. So as we do the stepping form, you don't have to take enormous steps. It's really fun to take big steps. It's really good for working the balance, to take the big, Tai Chi looking steps. But this can be done so small. It can be really just a tiny step and the motion. A tiny step and the motion. The other thing you can do the same space is instead of stepping straight ahead, you can step on these 45 degrees. And that way you're moving ahead at a slower pace because you're zigzagging. It does change a little bit the angles of the feet. So work with the space you have. Smaller steps will also be gentler on your knees. So if you feel any knee trouble, then do that. We're going to start over on the left side of your space. We're going to turn to our right. We're going to start with our heels touching together with the toes pointed out. And this is just to ensure that as we take our first step, our back foot is already at that nice 45-degree angle. So we always want the front foot pointed straight where we're going and the back foot pointed 45 degrees. And that'll be the same even if you're doing this diagonal stepping. You want the back foot 45 to the front foot. Okay, so let's just find the step first. So we bring one foot forward, shift the weight to the back foot, lift the front toes. I'll show you from the front. You're going to turn those front toes out a little bit, shift forward, bring the back foot up, touch the heel first, and then bring the weight into that foot. Then we shift back, front toes lift, turn out, weight forward again, bring the back foot up, touch the heel gently on the floor, keeping the toes up. Then bring the weight forward. Bring the weight back. There's a pretty common pattern in how we step in Qigong. First touch with no weight. Then the weight comes forward. Then we go back so we can turn the toes out. Come back forward and step. Okay, so basically every time we step, we touch so lightly. So it's not like when we step, we go, throw our weight into the foot as we're stepping. We always step with no weight and then make the transfer. Okay, you can just turn around normally if you just forget out of the fancy turnaround. But if you want to do the fancy turnaround, it looks like this. You lift the front toes, you turn them in towards the back toes. You lift the back toes, you turn them out, and then you set the foot a little to the side, and you're ready to go the other way. So again, front toes turn in, back toes turn out, front toes turn in, back toes turn out. It's really that easy to turn around and stay in the flow. Okay, so let's do it with, are people going to see my feet if you're there? Let's do it with the arms. So again, our first one, the simplest one, from the orca is the orca swimming. Again, heels together, arms making a little hoop. As you lift the foot to step, you're going to lift the hands, touch the heel, and as we shift forward, that's when we present the circle, the head of the orca. Hands come back to the lower abdomen. We shift back, lift the front toes. Those turn out, shift forward. As we're stepping up, we're lifting the hands, touch the heel, and present the circle as we shift forward. Come back, shift back, turn the toes out, lift to the chest, touch the heel, shift forward. Okay, so it really just goes with the weight shift and the hands are really going together on this one. Hands forward, shift forward. Hands back, shift back. When you want to turn around, hands just pause by the lower abdomen. Lift the front toes, turn them in. Lift the back toes, turn them out. Set that heel where you want it. And then just continue the flow. Nice and easy. Inhale back. And up. Exhale forward. And down. Start to add the breath. Inhale back. And up. Exhale forward. And down. That's with all our Qigong flows. We find the slowest that we can breathe without feeling air hunger. Really slow that breath down, breathing through the nose. And we aim to match the movement to the slow speed of our breath. So instead of moving at the speed we think we're supposed to and then matching our breath to that, we actually want to breathe at the slowest possible comfortable rate and match the movement to the breath. So that means the speed of the motion is going to change as our practice develops. It's usually going to become slower. All right. Let's find our second orca motion. Scratch the pebble. So, bring one foot forward, palms face the lower abdomen. On this one, as the hands pull back to the waist, you guys remember let's do the motion again one time. Pull back, scratch the pebble, come into the chest, open the flippers. Back to the dantian, pull back, scratch the pebble, open the flippers. Okay, so we're back here. Palms over the dantian, shifted back, front toes lifted. Those toes are going to turn out as we pull the hands back. So we pull back, turn the toes out, shift forward. And then it's as we're taking that step that we scratch the pebble and shift forward. And now this one's going to be two shifts. We're going to pull back into the chest, shift back, open the flippers, shift forward. Back to the dantian, shift back. And then as we lift and turn those front toes open, we turn our hands to the waist. We're sort of turning towards that foot as it turns. Shift forward, prepare. Touch the heel, begin to scratch the pebble, shifting forward. Back to the chest, shift back. Shift forward, open the flippers. Back to the dantian, shift back. So the same as before, just with two shifts now. Shift forward and back twice. Lift the toes, turn them out, open the palms by the waist, shift forward. The hands are just stationary here as we're shifting. And then we scratch the pebble. Shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back. Again, if you want to turn around, you're just going to pause with your hands here, pull back, pause here with the hands pulled back, lift the front toes, turn them in, the back toes, turn them out. You notice I'm not quite all the way turned around, so what I do is I lift the heel and I set it a little to the side so my feet are in a nice staggered posture. Then we can just restart. Scratch the pebble, circle in, open the flippers. To the dantian, exhale. Inhale, pull back, turn the toes out, step. Exhale, scratch the pebble. Inhale, open the flippers. Exhale, dantian. Inhale, turn toes, prepare, pull back. Exhale, scratch. Inhale, open. Exhale, dantian. The movement here links a little better with the arms than the feet. So your inhales, we pull back. Exhales, we scratch. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, dantian. And if you lose the pattern of the breath, I know it's kind of tough on this one. You can just breathe naturally. You don't have to match the movement. Just breathe deep and slow. Walking form's a little more complicated. Definitely takes a little longer to learn, feel comfortable with. But the benefit of that is that it's just that much more for your mind to pay attention to in your body. Making it that much easier to focus and concentrate. All right, let's bring it back in. Find yourself back in our standing posture. Feet under the shoulders, palms face up, arms around. Float your crown. Sink your tailbone. Relax your shoulder blades down your back. Spread your fingers. Float the elbows away from the ribs like there's a tennis ball under the armpits. Separate the knees like there's a basketball or a volleyball between your knees. Just hold here for a few breaths. This position that opens the body to that circulation of energy. Let's drop it down, float it up. Hands come about to the forehead. We bend the elbows here. Sink it down. That's one. It's called pulling down the sky, but it's a little bit less about the upwards movement of energy to the sky. It's a little bit more about the sinking of energy down to the earth, actually. So a lot of people sort of want to do this as this big up to the sky thing. You actually just very relaxed. You just come up to your about shoulder height with the hands, and you bend the elbows, come into the forehead, and sink. Obviously, there's a million ways to do every Qigong exercise, but this one I find gives a little bit more focus on that sinking of energy, which is really important at the end of Qigong practice. That's because a lot of us wind up with our energy rising up to the head too much. So maybe you've developed some chi, some energy in the body, but it's kind of like heat in a room. It's like hot air. It's like floating up to the ceiling. So you end with turning on that ceiling fan to push it back down and just make sure the chi is circulating evenly. And this also helps with the movement of chi into the dantian. Start to build this reservoir and anchor at the lower abdomen. So hopefully the breath is obvious here. Exhaling down, scan your body head to toe. Inhale up. Exhale, pass your awareness through your body and pass the body into the earth. One more time. Step it in. Bamboo in the wind. And a similar idea here, not necessarily sinking the chi, but helping the chi to circulate. So as we build up that energy, we want to make sure it's not moving too much to any one place, too little to any other. So here we just relax the body and allow the chi to flow unimpeded by tension or mental or emotional resistance. We let ourselves totally surrender. Allow the thoughts to think themselves, the emotions to be felt. Don't try to resist or change much of anything. Just relax and be aware of everything going on in the body and mind. Letting go of our resistance layer by layer. Rocking and swaying like bamboo in the wind. Just relax. All right, step it out. Let's circle the belly. Very good. We're just going to end with a little bit of tapping. So just come up to your sternum and just tap gently or firmly, wherever feels good. Up and down on the sternum. It's not in one spot, but you're going up and down. So again, we want to make sure the chi is not stagnating anywhere. So that's why at the end of class, we usually move the joints or we stretch or do a brushing. And another one we can do is tapping. Just open one arm. You're going to tap down the inside of the arm. If it feels better, you can use an open palm. I like a fist on the arms. Go up the outside of the arm, over the shoulder, chest, inside. Up the outside, down the inside. Go to the other side, other arm. Open palm will definitely feel better if you got kind of bony arms. All right, open up the armpit. Go tap from the armpit down to the waist. That's when we do a downwards motion. Other side, just 3 times. You want to open up the lymph nodes in there. Good breast cancer prevention. Keep that lymphatic fluid moving. To the low back, just like when we were knocking on the door of life. But now we're going to go from the low back to the sacrum, tailbone area. Just go up and down again. We're going to open the palm, slap down the back of the legs and up the inside of the legs. Down that back, up the inside. Now back up, knock at the hip crease. Call this area the qua in Qigong, not to refer to any anatomical structure, but to refer to the gates of energy that go through the inside of the joint. And relax. Good. Good. Shake it out as usual. Feel free to stretch or self massage. Whip out your foam roller or your Theragun or whatever you got. It's kind of a good time for that kind of thing. But either way, so fun Qigonging with all of you. Thanks for the suggestion on the tapping, Corey. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope your Qi's all tuned up, feeling that Qigong energy that we want, where we both have more energy. We feel like we can get more done, and we feel more relaxed and at ease at the same time, which is that secret sauce that everybody wants, but most people can't get. You're either stressed and you have lots of energy, or you're kind of relaxing, but you're lazy. So nice to get that yin yang balance with Qigong. I hope you're finding that from my classes. Thanks, Eve. Thanks, Austin. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Yoshika. Thanks for the PayPal, Zolo. Yeah, you guys, if you ever feel like donating for these, it's not obligatory, but if you ever felt like it, feel free to PayPal me. It's easy. You just look for, actually, Venmo's probably easier. It's just my name with a dash, Nick Dash Lawfree on Venmo. I see a picture of me sipping tea with my cat. That's how you know it's me. Anyways, teacher training starts Sunday. I hadn't counted the signups in a while, so I thought I was only at like a dozen people, but I actually have like 25 people signed up. So that should be fun. Really excited for that to start Sunday. If you're still thinking about it, you can learn more on the website, nicklawfree.com. If money's tight, we have payment plans as flexible as a 12-month payment plan, even though it's only a 12-week course. So, and of course, you have access to the materials for a lifetime. So it's not like you're paying for 12 months for something you only got for 12 weeks. Get the course for life. I'll check on that, Christy. Hopefully I got your PayPal. Thank you. What time does it start Sunday? Class starts noon Pacific on Sunday. The teacher training. That'll be on Zoom. Send out a Zoom link Sunday morning. Also, if money's tight, you can apply for the scholarship. So just email support@nicklawfree.com, and we can help you out with a discount or something if your business has been wrecked by COVID or anything like that. Just let us know. We're happy to make the course a little more affordable for you if you want to do the teacher training. So, yeah, email is just support@nicklawfree.com. I'd give you my email, but I get so many emails, it's hard for me to get through all of them in a timely manner. So please send them to my support email if you can. Heather says, do you have any Qigong for the inside of my thigh and psoas? Well, if what you mean is stretching those areas, yeah, we got lots of stretches for that kind of stuff. Might check out my Qigong for low back pain one. So it kind of has a lot of lower body, hip, psoas, hip flexor sort of area stretches. That's just on YouTube. Qigong for low back pain. Thanks, Janet. Evan says, I go back to my physio set with chi flowing. I modify things, but I think it's still very effective. Thank you, Nick. That's awesome. Yeah. Doing your physio after Qigong. I wonder if that's better, huh? Probably, right? You got more like blood moving and proprioception and stuff. That's a great idea. All right. Awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Somebody was asking if there's class tomorrow. There is class tomorrow. Who's asking that? Kind of lost the comment here. Oh, Corey. Yeah, there's class tomorrow at same time as today. Oh no, there isn't class tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Friday. No class tomorrow. There is class on Saturday, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 5 p.m. London, middle of the night in Australia. Where else do they speak English? I don't know. South Africa. I don't know what time it is in South Africa. But tomorrow you will find I am posting a new video tomorrow, new pre-recorded one. That's going to be a longer version of my Qigong like wood element stress routine, which I thought was a really awesome one. It got way less views than I thought it would. I think because the title was too like abstract. It was all like wood element Qigong. People are like, what is that? But I thought it was a really good routine, so I made a second improved, longer version of it. So you guys will see that tomorrow morning. I also made an improved version of my swimming dragon routine. That one I launched a few days ago. If you haven't seen it already, just check it out because the swimming dragons, I mean, it's an awesome form. And I kind of refilmed the whole thing because the original I shot on my iPhone and I just wasn't like super happy with it. So I finally redid it. And I think it turned out even better. So if you like swimming dragon Qigong, that one's already up. All right. Hope to see you guys, some of you guys Saturday and maybe some of you Sunday as well on the teacher training. Glad you liked the orca, Heather. Glad you're feeling the chi, Emma. See you guys Saturday.